It was a bright morning in the busy city. The tall glass buildings shined under the warm sunlight. Among them stood one of the most successful companies in the country, a place full of workers, computers, and important meetings. It was called Bright Future Industries. Everyone in the city knew this company for its modern ideas and success. But few people truly knew the man who had built it from nothing. His name was Malik. Malik was a calm and humble man. He did not wear expensive watches or show off his money. He believed that real success was not about looks, but about what a person created and how they treated others. Years ago, he had started this company with only a small amount of money and a big dream. He had worked late nights, made mistakes, and learned from them. Slowly, he built a company that changed lives. But even after becoming a billionaire, Malik never lost his simple habits. On this special morning, Malik decided to visit his company quietly. He wanted to see how everything was running when no one knew he was coming. He wore plain clothes, a simple shirt, and clean shoes. He did not bring his driver or assistant. He took a cab and walked to the front entrance just like any other visitor. He smiled, thinking it would be nice to see his workers busy doing the work they all believed in. As he entered the building, the guards at the gate looked at him. One of them stepped forward and asked politely, "Sir, can I help you?" Malik smiled and said, "Yes, I work here. I just want to go inside." The guard looked at him from head to toe and shook his head. "I'm sorry, sir, but only staff members are allowed beyond this point. Do you have an ID card?" Malik laughed softly and said, "I don't have it with me today, but you can check my name in your system. It's Malik." The guard frowned and turned to his coworker. "We can't let anyone in without an ID. Please wait outside." Malik did not argue. He understood they were just doing their job. Still, he felt something inside him shift. It was his company, his building, his creation, and yet, he was being told to stay out. He took a deep breath and decided to go to the reception desk. Maybe they would recognize him. He walked to the glass doors and tried to enter, but the receptionist stopped him again. She smiled but spoke in a firm tone. "Sir, you can't go in without a visitor pass. Who are you here to meet?" Malik replied, "I want to meet the management team." The receptionist looked confused. "Do you have an appointment?" Malik said calmly, "No, I don't need one. I started this company." The receptionist blinked. She thought it was a joke. Many people said strange things to get inside big offices. "Sir, I understand, but please wait outside. I'll call security if you keep insisting," she said. Malik felt a wave of quiet sadness but did not lose his temper. He nodded and stepped aside. While he stood there, a young worker came by carrying some files. Malik smiled at him and said, "Hello, how is your work going here?" The young man looked at him with curiosity and said, "I'm doing fine, sir. But you seem lost. Are you a visitor?" Malik nodded and said softly, "Yes, something like that." The young man did not know that the person standing before him was the owner of the whole company. Malik watched the workers walking in and out, full of energy and purpose. He felt proud but also distant. He realized that his quiet nature and simple look made people see him as just another man. A few minutes later, a senior manager named Ravi walked past the gate. Malik had hired Ravi himself years ago, but Ravi did not recognize him at first. Malik called out, "Ravi, my friend, how are you?" Ravi stopped and looked carefully. His eyes widened in surprise. "Sir, Malik, sir? Is that really you?" Malik smiled and said, "Yes, it's me. They told me to leave." Ravi laughed nervously and said, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, sir. They didn't know. Please come inside." As Malik walked in beside Ravi, all the guards and the receptionist looked shocked. They whispered to each other, realizing their mistake. Malik didn't say a single harsh word. He just smiled kindly at them and said, "It's all right. You were only doing your duty." That morning, Malik's quiet visit became an unexpected lesson for everyone in the building. They learned that real success does not always wear a suit or ride a luxury car. Sometimes greatness walks quietly, wearing a simple shirt and a kind smile. Inside the company, Malik began to notice something important about the way people worked and treated others. It was the beginning of a new understanding that would soon change the entire company. When Malik entered the building with Ravi, everyone became quiet. Some people stopped typing, some looked up from their desks, and others whispered softly. Many of them had never seen the owner in person. They only knew his name from company stories and pictures in news articles. Now the man they read about was standing right there, wearing a plain shirt and a warm smile. Ravi walked beside him, speaking politely. "Sir, If you had told us you were coming, we would have arranged everything. I am really sorry about what happened outside." Malik shook his head gently and said, "No need to say sorry. I wanted to see how things are when no one expects me. Now I know what happens at the door." They walked together toward the main office area. The walls were decorated with awards, pictures of charity events, and motivational quotes that Malik himself had chosen years ago. One of them said, "Respect begins with how you treat the people you don't know." Malik smiled when he saw it. He wondered if everyone still believed in that message. As they walked, Malik noticed how busy the office was. People were focused on their computers. Some were smiling and helping each other, but others looked tired and stressed. Malik could feel that something had changed. The company had grown fast, but maybe the heart of it had been left behind somewhere. He turned to Ravi and asked, "How is everyone doing these days? Are they happy with their work?" Ravi paused for a second before replying, "They are working hard, sir. But to be honest, the pressure has increased a lot. Many new rules have been added by the board. People worry more about targets than teamwork." Malik listened carefully. "That is not good," he said. "This company was built with teamwork and kindness. We must never lose that." Ravi nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. I understand. But maybe people have forgotten that message. Most of the new employees don't even know your full story. They only know your name." Malik smiled again, but this time there was a touch of sadness in his eyes. "Then it's time they learn it again," he said quietly. They walked into the main conference room. The board members were sitting there, surprised to see him walk in without any notice. A few of them stood up quickly, and one of them, Mr. Patel, spoke first. "Sir, what a surprise. We didn't expect you today," Malik replied calmly. "Yes, I wanted to come without announcement. I wanted to see my company with my own eyes, not through reports or numbers." The board members exchanged uneasy looks. Malik sat down and asked simple questions. How are the workers treated? Do they get time to rest? Do they still feel proud to be part of Bright Future Industries? The room went silent. Nobody answered at first. Then Mr. Patel said carefully, "Sir, we are doing our best. But the market is tough. We must keep pushing to stay ahead." Malik looked at him and said, "Staying ahead means nothing if our people feel behind. This company was made to build people, not just profit." The managers listened quietly. His words were simple, but they touched every heart in the room. After the meeting, Malik told Ravi he wanted to walk through the company floors and talk to workers directly. He wanted to hear their voices. As they moved through each department, Malik greeted people kindly. He asked small questions like, "Do you enjoy your work?" Or, "What could we do better for you?" At first, people were shy. But when they saw how friendly he was, they began to open up. Some said they loved the job but missed the family feeling they once had. Others said they worked long hours and wished for more time with their families. Malik listened to everyone with care. He didn't judge or promise big changes right away. He just listened and wrote notes in his small notebook. He wanted to understand everything before making decisions. When the lunch break started, Malik went to the cafeteria. He saw workers sitting in small groups, eating and laughing. Some recognized him now and waved shyly. Malik sat down with them, not in a private room but among them. He took a simple plate of rice and vegetables. One young woman said softly, "Sir, we never thought you would sit with us." Malik smiled. "Why not? You are the heart of this place. Without you, this company would be empty buildings." Everyone at that table smiled. They felt seen, respected, and valued. After lunch, Malik went to the top floor and stood by the window looking down at the city. He thought about the morning when the guards had stopped him. He realized that what happened was not just about a mistake at the door. It was a mirror showing something deeper. The company had become so big that people forgot what it was built on: respect, trust, and humanity. Malik made a quiet promise to himself. He would bring that heart back. He would make sure that every person, from guard to manager, knew they were part of something meaningful. It was no longer just about being the owner. It was about being the guide again. And Malik was ready to begin that journey once more. The next morning, Malik woke up early with a new thought in his mind. He wanted to see every part of his company, not just the big offices or the boardroom. He wanted to visit the smaller places, the ones where people worked quietly but played an important role in keeping the company alive. He reached the building again, this time with his ID card so the guards wouldn't stop him. When they saw him, they stood straight and greeted him with respect. Malik smiled kindly and said, "Good morning. Keep doing your duty well." His words made them proud and they nodded with a smile. Ravi met him in the lobby. "Sir, do you want to meet the directors again?" Malik shook his head and said, "No. Today I want to meet the people who are often unseen. The cleaners, the technicians, the helpers, and the interns. They also build this company in their own way." Ravi agreed and walked with him. Their first stop was the maintenance room. It was a small place filled with tools, wires, and cleaning supplies. Inside, two men were fixing a broken air conditioner. When they saw Malik, they quickly stood up, wiping their hands. Malik smiled and said, "Please continue your work. I just came to thank you." One of them looked confused and said, "Sir, thank us?" "For what?" Malik replied, "For keeping this building clean and safe. Without your work, the office could not run smoothly." The men exchanged surprised looks. No one had ever said something like that to them before. Malik asked them how long they had been working there. One said 10 years, the other said 7. They both said they liked their work but sometimes felt forgotten. Malik listened and said, "From today, I will make sure that no one in this company feels forgotten." After that, Malik visited the design department. The young employees there were full of creativity, but also full of stress. They were working on new product ideas and the room was filled with sketches and laptops. Malik stood behind one of them, watching quietly. The young man was so focused that he didn't even notice Malik. When he finally turned around and saw the owner standing behind him, he jumped in surprise. "Sir, I didn't see you," he said nervously. Malik smiled and said, "It's all right. I just wanted to see how you work. You seem very focused." The young man laughed softly and said, "Yes, sir. We are trying to finish a new design before the deadline." Malik asked, "Do you like your job?" The young man nodded but added, "Sometimes it's hard. We want to make good designs, but there's a lot of pressure to finish fast. It makes it difficult to be creative." Malik thought for a moment and said, "Creativity grows best in peace, not pressure. I will look into that." Then Malik moved to the warehouse section. The workers there were carrying boxes and managing shipments. It was a busy area but full of life. He talked to one of the supervisors named Rohan. Rohan was sweating and working alongside his team. Malik liked that. He asked, "Rohan, do you always work with your team like this?" Rohan said, "Yes, sir. I believe that if I work beside them, they'll feel respected." Malik smiled widely. "You're right. That's real leadership." While walking back, Malik passed by the lunch area again. He saw some employees sitting quietly at one corner. They looked like interns. Malik walked over and said kindly, "How are you all doing?" One of them replied shyly, "We're fine, sir. Just trying to learn fast so we can get full-time jobs." Malik nodded and asked, "Do you feel welcome here?" The young girl answered, "Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Some seniors are very kind, but some treat us like we don't matter." Malik listened carefully. He thanked them for being honest and said, "Everyone matters here, no matter what position they hold. I will make sure of that." Later that day, Malik returned to his office and sat quietly at his desk. He looked around the big room that once felt full of dreams. Now it seemed a little cold. He opened his notebook and began to write everything he had seen that day. He wrote about the guards, the cleaners, the designers, the interns, and even Rohan in the warehouse. He realized that the company had become large, but it had lost the warmth that made it special. People worked hard, but they missed connection, respect, and appreciation. Malik wrote at the top of his notebook page, "To build a company, you need money. To keep it alive, you need people." That evening, before leaving, Malik called Ravi to his office. "Tomorrow," he said, "I want to call a full staff meeting. Everyone should attend, from guards to managers. I want to speak to them all together." Ravi looked surprised but excited. "Yes, sir, I'll make all the arrangements." Malik nodded. "Good. I want everyone to know that they are part of one family again." As Malik walked out of the office that day, the sunset painted the city in warm orange light. He looked up at the tall building of Bright Future Industries and felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. He knew that tomorrow would be an important day, not just for him, but for everyone in the company. It was time to remind them what the word "together" truly meant. The next morning, the office was filled with excitement and curiosity. Everyone had received a message from the management saying that the owner, Malik, wanted to hold a special meeting with all staff. No one knew what it was about. Some thought it was about new company plans. Others worried it might be about strict changes. But everyone came on time. The large conference hall was full. Workers from every department were there. Guards, cleaners, designers, managers, and even the kitchen staff. It was the first time they had all gathered in one place. The air was full of whispers and guesses. Malik entered the room quietly. He wasn't wearing a fancy suit. He wore a simple shirt again, the same kind he had worn the day the guards stopped him. His calm presence made the whole room fall silent. He looked around, meeting the eyes of people from every level of the company. Some looked nervous, some curious, and some hopeful. He stood at the front and began to speak in a soft but strong voice. "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I called this meeting because I want to speak from my heart, not from behind a desk or a report." The room was completely silent now. Everyone was listening. Malik continued. "When I started this company years ago, it was not because I wanted to be rich. It was because I wanted to build something that gives people a chance to grow, to learn, and to live with respect. I wanted Bright Future Industries to be a place where everyone feels proud to belong." He paused for a moment and looked around again. "But in the past few days, I saw something that made me think deeply. I walked into my own company and I was told to leave. Not because anyone was rude, but because they didn't know me. I realized something important that day. Somewhere along the way, we forgot what makes us who we are." People started to look down quietly. Some remembered the story that spread quickly after that morning when Malik was stopped by the guards. Malik smiled gently and said, "I don't blame anyone. The guards were only doing their duty. But I saw how easy it is to lose connection, to forget that this company is more than a name. It is a family, and a family knows each other." He walked a few steps forward. "Yesterday I visited every corner of this company. I met the people who clean our floors, the people who design our products, the people who pack our shipments, and the people who dream of growing here. I listened to all of them. And do you know what I learned? They all care deeply about their work, but many of them feel unseen." He paused again. The hall was quiet. A few people nodded softly. Malik's tone became firm but kind. "From today, that will change. I don't want this company to be known only for its profits or buildings. I want it to be known for kindness, respect, and fairness. Every worker, no matter their position, is important. Every idea matters." He turned toward the management side and said, "We must lead with care, not just rules. If someone works late, thank them. If someone cleans your space, appreciate them. If someone new joins, welcome them with warmth." The guards standing at the back looked emotional. The cleaners smiled quietly. The designers and managers exchanged thoughtful looks. Malik continued, "We will start new programs to make this happen. Every month, we will celebrate a Team Appreciation Day. We will share stories, not just numbers. We will listen to each other more. And I want all levels of staff to join our meetings, not just the higher ones." Ravi stepped forward and said respectfully, "Sir, this is a beautiful plan. It will make everyone feel included again." Malik nodded. "That is the goal, Ravi. Because when people feel respected, they work not out of fear but from the heart. That is how real success is built." The room filled with gentle applause. Some people smiled, others even felt tears in their eyes. It was not just a speech. It felt like a new beginning. After the meeting ended, many workers came to Malik to thank him. The guard who had stopped him that first morning came forward too. He looked nervous but spoke honestly. "Sir, I didn't know who you were that day. I was just following the rule." Malik placed a hand on his shoulder and said kindly, "You did your job perfectly. You reminded me that this company still values discipline. I am proud of you." The guard's face brightened with relief and pride. Later, when Malik walked through the hallways, people greeted him with respect, but also with a new kind of connection. They no longer saw just a rich owner. They saw a man who cared about them. That evening, when the office day ended, Malik stood near the window of his office again. The city lights shone below, and he could see his company's logo glowing on the building. But this time, the next few weeks brought a fresh energy to Bright Future Industries. Everyone could feel the change. The hallways were no longer quiet and cold. People greeted each other warmly, and small smiles replaced the old tired faces. Malik's words during the meeting had touched every heart. It was as if a new light had entered the building. Malik spent most of his days walking through different departments, not as a strict boss, but as a friend and guide. He listened, learned, and shared small lessons about teamwork, respect, and growth. Wherever he went, people stopped their work for a moment just to greet him. The company felt alive again. One day he went to the design floor and saw a group of young employees working on a new project. They were discussing ideas but couldn't agree on one. Malik watched them for a few minutes and then said softly, "What if you try to combine your ideas instead of choosing one? Sometimes the best result comes when people work together instead of competing." The young designers looked at him, surprised by his simple advice. They tried it, and soon the design started to take shape beautifully. One of them smiled and said, "Sir, your idea really worked." Malik laughed gently and said, "It's not my idea, it's your teamwork." Later that day, Malik went to the cafeteria again. He sat among workers talking about their families and lives outside work. One of them, an older man named Ajay, said, "Sir, I've been here for 12 years. This is the first time I've seen everyone so happy. It feels like we are all part of something again." Malik nodded, feeling proud. "That's what this company should always feel like," he said. He then asked, "Do you think there's anything more we should do for the workers?" Ajay thought for a moment and said, "Maybe we can have a place where people can share their ideas freely, no matter who they are. Sometimes we have good suggestions, but no one to tell." Malik liked the idea. "Yes, we can make that happen," he said. The next week, he set up a small program called Voice of Bright Future, where anyone from the company could share their ideas or feedback. Every Friday, Malik or one of the senior managers would read the suggestions and discuss them. Soon, the company was full of creativity. The guards shared ideas about better visitor handling. The cleaners suggested better waste systems, and the designers proposed eco-friendly packaging. Malik encouraged everyone equally. He made sure that when someone's idea was used, that person was recognized in front of the whole staff. One Friday, during the Voice of Bright Future meeting, a young intern named Reena stood up and spoke nervously. "Sir," she said, "I think we should start a small garden on the rooftop. It will bring peace to people during breaks." Everyone clapped softly. Malik smiled and said, "That's a beautiful idea, Reena. Let's make it happen." 2 weeks later, the rooftop garden became real. Flowers, green plants, and benches filled the once empty space. Workers started going there during lunch to relax and talk. It became a peaceful place where ideas grew just like the plants. Malik often went there too, sitting quietly while watching his people laugh and share stories. As days passed, Bright Future Industries became known for more than its products. News started to spread that this company treated its workers like family. Other companies began visiting to learn from them. Malik was invited to speak at business events, but he always said the same thing. A company is only as strong as the respect it gives to its people. Inside the office, things were changing fast. Managers began spending more time with their teams. Meetings became open and friendly. Instead of fear, people worked with joy. Productivity increased naturally. One afternoon, Malik called Ravi to his office. "Ravi," he said, "do you see the difference around us?" Ravi smiled and replied, "Yes, sir, I do. The people look alive again. Even the guards talk with confidence now." Malik nodded. "That's what I wanted. We built tall buildings, but now we're building hearts." He then looked out the window and said, "But this is just the beginning. We must make sure this feeling stays. It's easy to lose it again if we stop caring." Ravi agreed and said, "We'll keep it alive, sir. We'll make sure the company never forgets these values." That evening, Malik received a message from the board. They wanted to meet him to discuss a new offer from an international company that wanted to buy Bright Future Industries. The offer was big, a deal that could make Malik even richer. Malik read the message silently. He thought for a long time. The company he built with care and love was now a place full of life again. Would selling it to strangers break that spirit? As the city lights began to shine outside his window, Malik felt a calm but serious thought growing in his heart. He knew this was going to be one of the biggest decisions of his life. He looked again at the company logo and whispered softly, "This company was made for people, not for price." The next day's meeting with the board would decide everything, the future of Bright Future Industries. And the dream Malik had built from nothing. The morning sun poured into Malik's office as he prepared for the board meeting. He could hear the city awakening outside, but inside his mind everything was quiet and focused. Today he would face a decision that could change the life of his company forever. Ravi entered the office carrying a folder. Sir, the board is waiting. They want to present the offer from the international company. It is very generous, he said. Malik nodded. Yes, I know, but I must think carefully. This is not about money alone. It is about the people who built this company with me. As they walked into the boardroom, Malik noticed how tense everyone seemed. The board members were well-dressed, confident, and ready to present numbers, contracts, and plans. The leader, Mr. Patel, stood up and began. Malik, the international company, is offering a huge sum for Bright Future Industries. If we accept, you will personally gain even more wealth, and the company will join a global network of businesses. It is a very rare opportunity, he said. Malik listened quietly. He looked at the numbers, the charts, and the proposals, but his mind was elsewhere. He thought of the guards, the cleaners, the designers, and the interns. He thought of the rooftop garden, the Voice of Bright Future program, and the smiles that had returned to his company. One of the board members added, with this deal, the company will grow faster, and profits will increase significantly. It is the best financial choice. Malik took a deep breath. Yes, he said calmly, it is financially smart. But a company is not only numbers. A company is people, values, and trust. This company is alive because of its people, not because of contracts or money. The room went silent. Some board members frowned. Sir, we are talking about a huge opportunity. Are you saying no? Mr. Patel asked carefully. Malik nodded. Yes, I am saying no. Bright Future Industries will stay independent. I want to continue building it with the people who belong here. Money cannot replace heart. And heart is what makes a company strong, lasting, and meaningful. Ravi exhaled quietly, feeling proud. He had seen Malik make many difficult decisions before, but this one carried a special weight. Another board member tried to argue. Sir, if we refuse this, we might face competition, slower growth, and risks. The offer will not stay forever. Malik's voice grew firm but gentle. I understand the risks. But if we focus on people, respect, and teamwork, we will overcome challenges together. I did not start this company to sell it and leave. I started it to build something lasting, something that matters. Some board members whispered among themselves, unsure if Malik's choice was wise. But Malik didn't care. He was not choosing for profit alone. He was choosing for the life of his company. After a long pause, Malik continued. From today, we will focus on growth, yes, but growth with care. We will expand, innovate, and lead, but we will do it in a way that respects every person in this building. That is the real path to success. The boardroom slowly shifted. People began to understand the wisdom behind his words. Even Mr. Patel, who was usually very serious about numbers, nodded slowly. Sir, I see your point. We will follow your decision and focus on people first, he said. Malik smiled, a calm and confident smile. Good. Let us remember why we started this company. We started it to create opportunities, to inspire others, and to make a difference. That will never change. After the meeting, Malik walked through the office again. He passed the same departments he had visited before. The warehouse, the design floor, the cafeteria, and the rooftop garden. Everywhere, people greeted him with warmth. They did not know about the board meeting, but they could feel the care in Malik's heart. Ravi joined him as he walked out to the balcony. Sir, that was a bold choice. Some people may not understand it yet, but you are protecting something bigger than money. Malik looked at the city skyline and said softly, Yes, Ravi, money can build buildings, but it cannot build trust, respect, or a family. That is what I am protecting. As the sun set that evening, the building of Bright Future Industries glowed warmly in the fading light. Inside, Malik could feel the heartbeat of the company, alive, strong, and united. He knew challenges would come, but he also knew that as long as people were valued, nothing could break the spirit they had rebuilt together. Malik returned to his office, feeling peace and determination. He picked up his notebook and wrote a single line at the top. The real treasure of any company is its people, not its profits. The following weeks brought a quiet but strong energy to Bright Future Industries. Malik's choice to keep the company independent had inspired every worker. People started to take pride not just in their work, but in the company itself. They were no longer working only for targets or salaries. They were working for each other. Malik made it a habit to walk through the office every morning. He didn't sit in his private office all day. He wanted to be part of the daily rhythm. Guards greeted him warmly, cleaners smiled, and even the interns waved as he passed. Everyone felt that their presence mattered. One morning, Malik visited the design floor. He noticed a young designer, Annika, struggling to finish a presentation. The deadlines were tight and the stress showed on her face. Malik quietly stood behind her and asked, "Would you like some help?" Annika looked surprised. "Sir? But this is my work," she said softly. Malik smiled gently. "I just want to guide, not take over. Sometimes a fresh view can make things easier." With his advice, Annika found a simple solution that improved the design. She felt proud and relieved. "Thank you, sir. I didn't know such a small change could make such a big difference." Malik replied, "Sometimes the smallest changes create the strongest results. Remember that." Later that day, Malik went to the warehouse. He watched workers carefully organizing shipments. The team leader, Rohan, greeted him with a smile. "Sir, we implemented the new idea you suggested, and it is helping a lot," he said proudly. Malik looked around and nodded. "Good work, Rohan. I'm proud of how everyone works together here." Malik realized that the changes he started were working. The Voice of Bright Future program had become a favorite among staff. Employees were suggesting improvements for every department, from small things like better seating arrangements to bigger ideas like a company library. Malik encouraged them all. He made sure every suggestion was acknowledged, giving credit to the people who shared it. One afternoon, Malik decided to spend time with the interns in the cafeteria. They were eating quietly and some looked nervous. Malik sat among them and asked, "How are you enjoying your work here?" A young man named Kabir replied, "Sir, I like it. But sometimes it feels like we are invisible. Managers are always busy and no one really notices what we do." Malik nodded thoughtfully. "That should never happen. Everyone here matters, no matter how long you've been with the company. From today, I will make sure every voice is heard." He explained that they would start a mentorship program where interns and new employees could connect with experienced staff. This idea excited everyone. They felt valued and part of a larger family. By the end of the week, Malik visited the rooftop garden. The plants were thriving, and employees were taking small breaks there. Some were reading, some were chatting, and a few were sharing ideas for new projects. Malik watched silently, feeling satisfied. This garden had become more than just plants. It was a symbol of growth, care, and patience, the same values he wanted in his company. He smiled as he thought about the journey so far. From being told to leave his own company to walking through every department and listening to every worker, Malik had learned something important. A company was more than numbers, contracts, or deals. A company was alive when the people within it felt valued, respected, and connected. As the sun set, the building glowed warmly against the evening sky. Malik looked out from his office window and felt a quiet joy. He had created not just a successful business, but a place where people could grow, share, and feel proud. Ravi joined him silently. "Sir, it feels like the company smiles again," he said softly. Malik nodded. "Yes, Ravi, and we must keep it that way. This smile is fragile. We have to nurture it every day." Malik knew there would always be challenges. Markets would change, deadlines would approach, and new obstacles would appear. But he was ready. As long as the people in the company felt seen and valued, he knew they could face anything together. That night, Malik wrote a short note in his notebook. "A company is alive when hearts are alive. Money cannot create hearts. Only respect, care, and unity can." Bright Future Industries had become more than a business. It had become a home, a family, and a place where every person mattered. Malik felt peaceful knowing that the true success of a company was not in numbers, but in the smiles of the people who built it every day. Months passed, and Bright Future Industries continued to thrive. Malik's presence in the company had transformed more than just the atmosphere. It had changed the culture completely. People were no longer just employees. They were contributors, learners, and partners in the company's journey. Malik often walked through the halls, greeting everyone by name. He stopped at the cafeteria to chat with cleaners and interns, checked the warehouse to encourage workers, and visited the design floor to see creativity in action. Every visit reminded him of the promise he had made, to protect the heart of the company. One day, Malik called Ravi to his office. "Ravi," he said, "I have been thinking a lot about the future. We have grown, and our programs like Voice of Bright Future and the Rooftop Garden have made a difference, but we need to make sure these values stay for years to come." Ravi nodded. "Yes, sir, but how can we make them permanent?" Malik smiled. We teach them, not just to the managers, but to everyone who joins. Respect, care, teamwork, and honesty must be part of our training for all new employees. This way, our culture will continue no matter how much we grow. Over the next few weeks, Malik helped design workshops, storytelling sessions, and mentorship programs. He shared the story of how he had started the company with a small dream, and how respect and unity had built it into a billion-dollar enterprise. Every new employee listened with fascination and pride, feeling part of something bigger than themselves. One afternoon, Malik visited the rooftop garden. The sun was shining and employees were enjoying the peaceful space. Some were discussing project ideas while others simply relaxed. Malik saw Annika and Kabir, the young designers he had guided before, sharing their designs with other team members. He smiled. The future of the company looked bright in their hands. As Malik walked back to his office, he saw Rohan in the warehouse. "Sir," Rohan said, "we've been following your advice. Everyone helps each other now and work feels easier. People are happy to be here." Malik placed a hand on Rohan's shoulder. "That is the result of teamwork, Rohan. Remember, a company is strong only when people feel strong." Later that evening, Malik held another company-wide meeting. He stood before everyone from guards to managers. "Today," he said, "I want to talk about what we have achieved together. We started this journey not only to grow our business, but to grow together. I have seen the smiles, the ideas, and the support that each of you brings. This is the true treasure of Bright Future Industries." People clapped and cheered softly. It wasn't just a celebration of success, but a celebration of connection, care, and mutual respect. Malik continued, "We will continue to grow, but we will never forget that every person here matters. Remember, the company does not belong to one person. It belongs to all of us who give it heart and effort." A young cleaner named Samir came forward. "Sir, I just want to say thank you. I never imagined that the owner would care about everyone equally. It means a lot to us." Malik smiled warmly. "Samir, thank you for your hard work. You are part of the heart of this company. Never forget that." News of Bright Future Industries' transformation spread beyond the city. Other companies came to learn from Malik's leadership. Journalists wrote about the billionaire who chose people over profits. Malik never boasted about it. He simply said, "True success is measured in the lives you touch, not the money you earn." Years later, Malik stood in the same office where he had once been stopped by the guards. The company had grown even bigger, but the heart remained the same. He looked out at the city, remembering the journey. From humble beginnings to billions, from being told to leave his own company to seeing it thrive as a family, Malik knew the most important lesson of all. Wealth can build buildings, but respect and care build legacies. He turned to Ravi, who was standing beside him. "We've come far, Ravi, but our real achievement is not in our growth. It is in the smiles of the people who make this company alive." Ravi nodded quietly. "Yes, sir, and it will continue for generations." Malik walked slowly through the office one last time that evening. Guards, cleaners, interns, and managers greeted him warmly. Every face reflected confidence, respect, and joy. The company that had once told him to leave was now a place where everyone belonged. That night, Malik wrote in his notebook, "The greatest wealth is not money, but a company where people feel valued, respected, and part of something meaningful. That is my true legacy." Bright Future Industries shone not just as a business, but as a home, a family, and a symbol of what true leadership could achieve. Malik smiled, knowing that the story of his company would inspire others for years to come.